Isn't it, with Meghan? You know, she can't stick to a plot, a story. Seemingly, you know, people are so bad to her, so negative. Whichever way you look, it's always somebody else's fault, isn't it? And I find this incredible because particularly when you're in the public eye, as we've seen recently, she's interviewed the diva Mariah Carey. And Mariah Carey, you know, they're going to get on incredibly well because Mariah Carey really was a very talented singer, but nothing was happening until really she got together with the boss of Sony Records, you know. And when they say we're strong, empowering, independent women, indeed they are, but they marry rich. And so, as a lot of people have said, you know, you don't say anything when you marry rich. If you think about it, Meghan Markle was a struggling sort of D-list actress until she met Prince Harry on a quest to find an English boyfriend by scouting around these shores to find anybody that could up her profile in anything, from an X Factor star right through to the likes of a footballer who had been party to, of course, Girls Aloud singer Cheryl Cole, or Cheryl Tweedy as ever she wanted to be called. Fascinating stuff. They all do it, but the bottom line is then you're not allowed to do it because they're empowering women. But the background story to this is really fascinating in itself because Meghan recently, as you know, claimed that when she was part of the British monarchy, she didn't receive any help. She didn't know the words to the national anthem. She didn't know about curtsying, being in line, ladies in waiting, all of that sort of stuff. But once again, you see, it's been blown out of the water. And let me explain the reasons why. In here is, during the interview with that particular magazine, Meghan let slip that she'd been media trained herself as part of being an actress. So she knew the form, she knew what was happening, what's required as somebody who's been media trained. I've media trained many famous people in my time. Let me tell you, some get it, some don't. I can see there's elements that she gets, a lot of the things she doesn't. But what she let slip in that particular interview was this, and as ever, we have to say allegedly, even though it's in print. She basically said that she'd been media trained, but then royal media trained. So did she receive any help or didn't she? You see what I'm saying? They can't stick to the plot because whatever sort of avenue they're going down is the avenue that suits them, that narrative for that particular story. Now, what's interesting also is a lot of people are saying, look at the front cover. It's an exact replica of this. And indeed it is. But let me tell you, according to a very good source, all of that was sanctioned, agreed and signed off after the approval of her husband, Prince Harry. Now, when you look at the picture of her also when she turned up at St. Paul's Cathedral, surely, you know, he must spot that something's a little bit off because whichever way you look at it, somebody is emulating somebody from the past. That's not a good look, is it? There's no originality there, there's no forward thinking, and there's certainly no empowerment. But of course for Meghan, all she really wants is to be talked about. She doesn't care whether it's good or bad or indifferent, as long as you talk about her. And of course we're doing that right now. But bigger things are at foot. And let me explain this. I truly believe she's very dangerous, in my opinion, for the British monarchy because the more that she says these things in public, the more damaging it is for a brand. It doesn't matter how successful Catherine and William are. These sort of comments really are just not good. And the bottom line is, you know, a lot of people over here are incredibly worried about just how toxic things could become if Harry and Meghan don't simply curtail themselves, get on with the job that they allegedly wanted to do, which was a quiet life away from the public eye, and more importantly, stop using the people that they claim have treated them so badly, but they use them for their now newfound fame. As ever, when I know more, you'll know more. Neil Sean in the very heart of London.